So without further ado, I give you State Senator Chris McDaniel.
Greetings from the free state of Mississippi. Look at you. Hope. It springs eternal here in this room, doesn't it? And not a moment too soon. We're fighting. And so it begins. Again. One last great stand for liberty. One last great stand for our Constitution. We dare not disappoint. There's too much at stake. Our country's too great to lose. And I will not tell my children one day about a once great republic that we were unable to save. We will not witness the managed decline of this republic. We will witness its revival. We will witness its resurrection. We stand here today in defense of that early and original American Revolution. What they brought us, what they brought you, was something unprecedented in all of American history, or for that matter, all of world history. They simply did not change the leading cast of characters, replacing one king with another, for example, or replacing that king with an oligarchy. They changed your role in your government. They worked for you, not the other way around. And yet in Washington, D.C., they have created a political aristocracy. They no longer listen. They have forgotten who they worked for. We go to remind them again, and we're going to remind them again. That's our obligation. That's our duty of this generation, and we will win this fight, I promise you. They say the race I'm in right now is a test of the old guard. I'm not sure what that means. I know my opponent's been there 42 years. Been there as long as I've been alive. Richard Nixon was president when he arrived. But I prefer to look at it from another angle. You see, the Republican Party that I joined is a party of freedom, and a party of liberty, and a party of limited government, and a party of constitutionalism. We stand to regain that party and to restore its consciousness again. And not a moment too soon. You know, my ancestors looked at what our founders had given us, the idea that liberty matters, the idea that lamps could be lit in the hearts and minds of men. They looked across an ocean from Ireland and they recognized that liberty and prosperity were intertwined. They looked across the ocean from Scotland. They recognized the same thing. The question for this generation is, are we allowing those lamps of liberty to be extinguished? Because if we are neglecting that first American Revolution, the one we stand to defend. What say you? You say we fight. Yeah. You've come to the right place. You've got a lot of friends in here that want to fight with you. And I agree with you. It's time we fight. You know, it's funny. Senator Ted Cruz and Senator Mike Lee have given us an outstanding example of what courage can do, of what real leadership can do. You know, they stood there doing their best to defund Obamacare. That was a fight they should have fought. It was a fight they should have won. But the same old guys told us that was not a winnable solution. It's the same thing. It's the same thing everywhere we go, isn't it? The Republicans have to learn to compromise. We have to learn to reach across the aisle. I don't remember the Democrats reaching across the aisle when they basically took Obamacare and rammed it down our throats. So let me promise you this. Next time Senator Cruz and Senator Lee and others stand on that floor to fight to balance your budget, next time they stand on that floor to fight to defund Obamacare, a son of Mississippi will stand with them. We have been silent too long. Oh, they'll marginalize us, and they'll ridicule us, and we'll stand strong nevertheless. You. There are so many questions people have of candidates nowadays, but really the questions are yours to answer, not mine. This is your movement, not mine. One election can't save this country. Winning back the presidency can't save this country. If you engage your Congress, if you engage your government, if you engage the people of this land, we'll take back this republic and save it. But you have to stand. And so, I've got a question or two for you. Will you be men and women of courage? What are you willing to sacrifice? It may take that, sir. Courage. Will you be men and women of judgment? You see, the decisions you make today when you go forth from this place will invariably impact my children. Their age is 2. Their age is 7. We don't live in vacuums. If you go forward to fight, if you go forward to restore your country, you save it for them, you save it for their generation, you save it for their kids. You have to be men and women of judgment. Will you be men and women of integrity? I like that. This doesn't mean we're always to agree on every single issue, but there are some issues that we can coalesce around. I've got 17.3 trillion reasons to never compromise on the debt again. Your Constitution and its glory, that includes every amendment, not just a couple, are worthy of your sacrifice and never worthy of surrender. We will not surrender that document to those progressives. And we are not going to stand with an eye toward trying to place a Band-Aid on Obamacare. We're not, we're not going to fix it. We're going to kill it. Let me just wrap up with this. History is going to record this one great battle of ideas. This is the fight for my generation. It's the fight of your generation. And we shall go on to the end. We'll fight them in academia. We'll fight them in the universities. We'll fight them in the marble halls of Congress. We'll fight them in the state capitals. We'll fight them in the hills if we have to. But we are not going to surrender our country. It will record that Mississippi stood tall. It will record that Kentucky stood tall. It will record that Texas and Utah stood tall. We're going to change this country one senator at a time, one House member at a time, but only if you engage the system. Are you ready? Let's go. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you. And so it begins. Again. One last great stand for liberty. One last great stand for our Constitution. We dare not.
So, without further ado, I give you State Senator Chris McDaniel.
Greetings from the free state of Mississippi. Look at you. Hope. It springs eternal here in this room, doesn't it? And not a moment too soon. We're fighting.